the least experienced team in the playoffs. And all they have to do is
What a reward.
Go up against arguably the best, certainly one of the best dynasties of all time. Always nice to talk to an ex-KHTKer. Once here, always here.
Yeah.
Has made quite the name for himself and has quite the collection of rings.
Mm-hmm.
The one, the only, the voice of the Golden State Warriors, Tim Roye. Good morning, Tim. It's Dave and Jason. How are you?
I am great. It's finally here. We've lived long enough to see this series. We've been waiting for this since the 80s. We've been waiting for this. So
it's funny because most people don't, it's one thing that, the Warriors and Kings have never played each other in the playoffs. It's like, no, they've never been in the playoffs together since, at least Sacramento was here. This truly is, just an hour and a half apart, the craziest of crazy storylines.
It is, and with the Lakers winning their play-in game, and now it's the first time that all four California teams have been in the playoffs at the same time. So it's really, I think it's great for Northern California that this series is here. I think it's going to create a rivalry that's always been there, but it's been hard to have it a real rivalry because the teams haven't been good at the same time. When C-Web and White Chocolate were throwing the ball and the Warriors weren't very good. If you remember those days, I tried to block those years out, but okay. It's going a 30-win season. That's all I'm asking for.
Right.
But, it just, and then when the Warriors got good with, the drafting of Steph and Clay and Draymond, the Kings were in a tailspin and couldn't get that momentum going. So it's hopefully going to spur a rivalry. And how cool is it that the fans of either team can, if they choose, can buy tickets in the other building and drive to get there. That's just unheard of in the NBA or at pro sports, really across the board.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, there's so much excitement here, Tim, as you can expect. And I know Warriors fans are in a frenzy too because their team got back there. And Tim, you've called the 73-win team to other champion teams. Is this year more similar to maybe last year's team where they kind of got there at the end, got hot at the very last week or two, and then had that finals run that was amazing? How similar is this year's squad to maybe what you guys went through last year?
Well, last year they got off to a tremendous start, and they were winning road games. This year's team has not been winning road games, and they found just the most creative ways to lose on the road. Up 4 in Utah with seconds to play and lose, on a turnover and a dunk, with less than 2 seconds to play. So it's a little different. The similarity is that, like last year's team, they're getting healthy at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. You remember last year, Steph, Draymond was out for a while when Clay came back, and then when Draymond came back, Steph got run into by Marcus Smart, and then but Steph got healthy right at the start of the playoffs. So they're getting Wiggins back right at the start of the playoffs, and so that's the similarity, I think, is that they're getting everybody back, and they got Peyton back. So they've really got the rotation that I think Steve Kerr is going to be really comfortable with.
Tim Roye, voice of the Warriors, joining us. We asked Sam Amick this earlier. You're even much closer than him even. Can you compare the team as it is right now, fairly healthy and ready to go, to last year's championship team? Do you, in your opinion, are they on that same level?
I think they can be, Dave, to be honest with you. I really do, because I think now when you look at the Warriors, Clay's had a whole nother year under his belt and is playing, he can play very well, and he's a playoff type guy. But the addition of getting Peyton back and getting Wiggins back now gives you guys that can defend wings, and you have to be able to defend wings in the way the NBA's played today. And so now, and Kuminga is a year farther along. He's a much more of a patient player, and he's been through the playoffs, and Jordan Poole has started in the playoffs. So I do think they can get to that level. Now, will they? That's another question. They have to, in this series, they have to do something they haven't done this year, which is win on the road against a really good team. And, they've won a road game in every playoff series that this core has gone through. That's what they're going to have to rely on if they have a chance to win this series. They're going to have to get back to being that team on the road and not the team we saw this year, which was, 28th in the league, defense on the road. That's just, you can't win that way.
Tim, I'm sure, as you mentioned, that we'll see Wiggins and quite a bit of him, no matter how many minutes that ends up being, but as they ramp him up, and Gary Payton II, as you mentioned. So if those two guys get more run than at least we saw in the last couple of weeks for the Warriors, who will be impacted the most as far as losing some of those minutes?
Well, I think the guys that are Jermichael Green's kind of fallen out of the rotation because of that. Just because I think Steve is really comfortable with GP2, and then Dante DiVincenzo gets impacted a little bit too, because those are guard minutes that he's been getting, and he's played really well. He's had a really nice season for the Warriors. He's healthy and just he kind of fits with what they like to do, and so those are the two guys I think that we've seen have had their minutes impacted. But, as we know, the playoffs are a different deal. One game, somebody's going to be in foul trouble. Somebody may tweak an ankle in a game and might not be able to play. So I think there's going to be plenty of minutes for everybody.
Tim Roye joining us. Tim, we've talked a little bit, and this is getting out of the X's and O's. Not just the pressure on the Warriors of having to maintain a level of excellence, but also everything surrounding this team. There's no question it's been the main triple threat core with Steph, Clay, and Draymond. You had the drama with Draymond and Poole at the beginning of the year. He's got that player option. Joe Lacob's made noises about going well into the luxury tax and how it's not tenable. Bob Myers still doesn't have a contract. So in your mind, is there a possibility in that locker room that some of those players are thinking this might be our last run, our last dance, to borrow from the doc, as people know the Warriors?
It's funny. The players aren't saying that. They're saying, no, we got more run to do. And Draymond's hinted he wants to retire as a Warrior and all that. But we know it's pro sports and stuff happens and nothing stays together forever. So I don't think it's going to be the last run of this team because of the way guys are able to train now and extend their careers and play at a higher level for longer. But I wouldn't be shocked. I'll put it that way. I wouldn't be shocked if it's the last one, but just because stuff happens, you never know in pro sports. We never thought superstars would be traded, but then Will Chamberlain got traded. Kareem got traded. Anybody can get traded there, or anybody can sign somewhere in today's pro sports. So I don't think it's the last run. To be honest, my gut feeling it's not, but you never know.
Tim Roye, voice of the Golden State Warriors, with us. Tim, obviously, I'm sure the Warriors think, hey, if we play our best, we're going to put our best out there, we can beat anybody, and they've shown they can do that. As the coaching staff, Coach Kerr and the staff prepare for the Kings, what do you think has most of their attention, most of their concerns regarding the Kings?
Mike Brown. I think they got Mike Brown. Mike Brown on the brain. No, I think they're very concerned with the Kings offense. I mean, it's one thing to get hot for a couple weeks, but when you consistently score the way that team can score, that's a problem, and that's something they're going to have to find an answer for to try to at least make them earn it. And I think they're worried about that and the quickness that, say, Fox has. It's not like the Warriors have. Maybe the Warriors of 8 years ago could probably match up a lot better with him than they can now. So I think you'll see a lot of different things thrown at Fox in this series. I would be shocked if they just played him straight up. I think they're going to throw some things at him. But then the other thing I think is going to be key in this series is which team is a better defensive rebounding team. You have the number 1 and number 2 guys in the league who turn offensive rebounds into points in Kevon Looney and Sabonis. So I think whatever team kind of taps that down a little bit and keeps the other team from taking advantage of that, I think may give themselves a real good chance.
Always fantastic with his time even though he's in playoff mode as well. Tim, love you on the call. Make sure you hydrate, get some good sleep, eat a nice healthy meal, carb up, and most importantly, my man, make sure those headphones are reinforced because, as you know very well, it's not like Chase Center is going to be a library either. But Golden One Center, you might have some people passing out in the aisles, my man. It's going to be crazy.
I'm so looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun, so much energy there. As an announcer, I'm looking for just what a great series. It falls right into your lap. There's going to be energy in both buildings, all the storylines, all of that. There is one regret I do have. I didn't think of this beforehand, but I should have gone before they torn down Arco. I should have gotten a chair out of there. So
Well, Tim, we're looking at 4 in here right now. I don't see why we can't donate one to the great Tim Roye.
Yeah, he called many games for the Kings.
As a matter of fact, I will personally bring it down pregame to Golden One Center if you agree to sit in it during your call.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much.
That'll go over well. All right, buddy. Have a great call. Okay. Enjoy yourself. Hopefully for just 4 games after we beat it. Thank you.
All right.
See you. Bye.
Thanks, Tim.
We'll take a break.
Got to get him a chair.
Yeah, we got to get him a chair. When we come back, we got